Hello, this video is about the Virtual Employment Law Academy, the brand new national academy to help HR professionals, junior lawyers and legal executives and union officials learn about employment law in a safe, supportive and inspiring community. It's designed to help you advise businesses and their employees on their legal rights and obligations, comply with the relevant legislation and protect businesses from claims and combat discrimination and promote equality at work. I'm Barrister Daniel Barnett. I've created and will be leading the course. Let me give you a brief outline, which I'll then break down and flesh out with more information. It's an intense 7-week course delivered entirely online, so you can learn when you want and how you want. There are 2 modules taught each week on a Monday and a Tuesday. Each module is about 2 hours long, typically an hour of me talking about the topic we're studying, and then an hour of interactive discussion through Zoom, where we can drill down into some of the trickier issues and you can question me or ask me for my help if there's anything you haven't quite got to grips with. All the modules are recorded, they're uploaded and available immediately if you can't make the live session. Now, each module is supported by a workbook. There are 4 workbooks in total covering the 14 modules. They give you the outline content of each module broken down with details about the cases I cover and with lots of room for you to take notes. Also, every week we have small group tutorials where we break out into groups of 8 to 12 people, and a course tutor will take you through case studies arising from the topics studied in that week's 2 modules, and will then talk generally about the modules and answer questions in a much smaller and friendlier environment. The main person leading the tutorials is John Sprack, who was an employment judge for 15 years and who also practiced as an employment law barrister. He taught employment law at Bar School and he's delivered over 200 CPD courses on various aspects of employment law. Now, if you choose, you can also go through an assessment process. That involves completing 2 written assignments based on a case study that we'll give you, which we then mark and provide detailed feedback. Now, assuming you pass both assignments, you'll receive a framed certificate certifying you've successfully completed the course. As well as that, you'll get access to a Slack community exclusively for those who are part of the Virtual Employment Law Academy. We'll have workrooms for the different modules such as dismissal, discrimination, working time, employment status and others, where you can post questions and I'll be in the Slack room helping out. That's the broad outline of how it works. Let me go into some more detail about how the course is broken down and the content of the modules, and then I'll delve into how the course is actually delivered. I'll also talk about the different options available to you, and I'll talk about our scholarship programme. The course is split into 4 parts, which are further divided into 14 modules. Part 1 is the introduction to employment law. It's the fundamentals. It's the fundamentals without which the rest of the course won't make much sense. And it's taught in week 1 as modules 1 and 2. Module 1 covers the contract of employment. So you'll learn where contract terms come from. Obviously, what's in the contract itself, but also offer letters, collective agreements, and where implied terms arise. You'll also learn about written statements of particulars of employment and continuity of employment. Module 2 covers employment status. Now, employment status, as you know, is a complicated topic, but I'm going to drill down and make it easy. We'll cover the difference between employees, workers, and independent contractors, going through the legal tests for each. We'll also examine the ongoing problem of how to categorise people who are in the grey areas, such as gig economy workers, and we'll examine the legal rights and obligations regarding agency workers and people working under part-time and fixed-term contracts. Now, that first week is a little bit technical because that's the nature of the topics we're covering in the introduction. By the time we get to week 2 of the 7 weeks, we arrive at the good stuff. Part 2 of the course is on dismissal, and that's where we'll spend weeks 2, week 3 and part of week 4. It's 5 modules long as it's a big and obviously important topic. Now, module 3 deals with how contracts are ended, so covering express dismissals, constructive dismissals, the problem of ambiguous dismissals or resignations, as well as smaller issues like frustration and termination by mutual consent. We'll take a look at the potentially fair reasons for dismissal, which, as you probably know, are capability, conduct, redundancy, statutory ban, and some other substantial reason. And we'll examine the differences between unfair and wrongful dismissal, and substantive versus procedural unfairness. Module 4 is a detailed look at dismissals for capability, performance, and qualifications. We'll drill down into the law on performance dismissals and dismissal procedures, and we'll look in detail at the way the law deals with dismissals for repeated short-term absence versus long-term absence, including an early look at disability discrimination law and reasonable adjustments, which we'll cover in more detail later. Module 5 covers conduct dismissals. We'll look at the ACAS Code of Practice on disciplinary and grievance procedures, and we'll take a close look at the British Home Stores and Birchall test, which covers the fairness of dismissals for misconduct, examining the scope of honest belief, reasonable grounds, and the reasonable investigation tests. We'll also cover the law relating to disciplinary appeals, and consider what employment law says about sanctions. So when does something justify a warning versus when it justifies dismissal? Now, in the current economic climate, redundancy is something which all legal advisors and HR professionals need to know about. And that's what we focus on in Module 6. We'll look at the definition of redundancy, we'll look at the statutory versus enhanced redundancy payment regime, and then we'll focus on how the law deals with redundancy consultation, both at an individual level and also at a collective consultation level in larger redundancy situations. We'll also cover when a tribunal is likely to say a redundancy dismissal is unfair. Finally, in Module 6, we'll cover dismissal and re-engagement, otherwise known as fire and rehire, and we'll look at the current law on that as well as the proposals for reform. Module 7 is the final module in part 2 of the course, and it takes us into week 4. We cover a lot in Module 7. We'll go through the automatic unfair dismissals, focusing mainly on whistleblowing and TUPE. You'll learn the legal definition of a protected disclosure and the loopholes in that definition. We'll cover what amounts to a whistleblowing detriment, and when a whistleblower is regarded as automatically unfairly dismissed. We'll also look at what compensation a whistleblower can claim in respect of detriments and unfair dismissal, and we'll briefly consider interim relief, which is a special remedy available to whistleblowers. Turning to TUPE, we'll examine exactly when TUPE applies and when it doesn't, including going through the law on transfers of undertakings and service provision changes. We'll then look at dismissals flowing from TUPE. We'll examine the technical defence known as an ETO, an economic, technical or organisational defence, in detail. That's Module 7, and it's the halfway point in the course. Now, we've covered a lot so far. Thank you for listening. There's more to come. Remember, depending on what you choose to sign up for, you'll be supported by weekly tutorials when you're taken through case studies and get to ask questions, and we'll be supporting you in our online Slack community. This is also the point at which we invite you to do your first assessment after Module 7. It's not compulsory, you choose whether you want to sign up for it, but if you complete the 2 assessments and pass, you'll be certified as such, and it's a great line to add to your CV. Now let me run through the second half of the course, which I'm going to do a little faster than I ran through the first half of the course, and I'll then talk about the different pricing options and about the scholarships that we're offering. Part 3 of the course covers discrimination. Module 8 introduces the basic concepts. We'll go through the different protected characteristics recognised in the Equality Act, and we'll cover the different types of discrimination, such as direct discrimination, indirect discrimination, harassment, and victimisation. In Module 9, we'll focus on sex and race, and we'll go through the legal issues that arise in those cases. Module 10 will focus specifically on disability and age, as those protected characteristics have particular issues that apply to them, such as discrimination arising from a disability, such as reasonable adjustments, and such as employer-justified retirement ages. We'll study all of those together. Now remember, each of the modules lasts about 2 hours, with me talking for about an hour, followed by an hour of Q&A or general discussion around the topic, so it is a fairly deep dive, but also you'll get every chance to drill down and question me about anything you're struggling with or thinking about, all in a safe community of people who want to become experts in employment law. We also have the options for small weekly tutorial groups where you'll go through case studies, and our online community mutual support group in Slack. Part 4 covers additional topics and tribunal claims. I'll just talk through the modules and then I'm going to come to pricing and the various available options. Module 11, which starts off week 6 for us, is on working time and the minimum wage. We'll cover the law on annual leave. I'm going to break the very technical and the very complicated rules down for you and make them simple. We'll cover itemised pay statements. We'll cover the right to request flexible working. It's a big module. Module 12 covers maternity and family-friendly issues. It takes in discrimination on grounds of pregnancy, health and safety rules relating to pregnant workers, time off for antenatal care, unfair dismissal and discrimination during pregnancy or maternity leave, the right to maternity leave and the right to maternity pay, and other types of leave such as paternity leave, adoption leave, parental leave, and time off for dependents. Then it's week 7. Week 7 is our final week. Now it's an intense course, you'll have picked that up. I don't want you to be under any illusions about that, which is why every module is recorded and every module can be watched at your own speed and in your own time. So what are the last 2 modules about? Module 13 covers remedies and compensation, so when things go wrong or when claims succeed. We'll talk about how tribunals calculate loss of earnings, mitigation, contributory fault, and Polkey reductions. We'll look at specific issues with unfair dismissal, including reinstatement and re-engagement, the basic award, the compensatory award, and we'll take another look at interim relief. We'll also consider specific issues in discrimination remedies, including financial losses, injury to feeling awards, personal injury awards, and aggravated damages. Finally, we'll examine the Section 207A uplift, that's the uplift to awards for failing to comply with the ACAS code. We'll cover grossing up for tax, something which can make a huge difference to a tribunal award, but which very few people understand. Last but definitely not least, in Module 14, we'll examine how to bring and defend an employment tribunal claim. We'll discuss time limits, ACAS early conciliation, the ET1 and ET3, what happens at preliminary hearings, disclosure of documents, preparing witness statements, putting together bundles, and judicial mediation. And that's the course. That's it. There's a lot there, but the whole ethos of the Virtual Employment Law Academy is that we want you to succeed. We're going to support you along the way, and you'll be part of a community of HR professionals, paralegals, legal executives, lawyers new to employment law, and union officials, all on the same journey, all looking to upskill yourselves and all looking to build your knowledge in a safe, supportive, and inspiring community. So what you'll be thinking now is, how does it work? How much does it cost? Let's have a look at that. Now we've got 3 packages you can choose from: Essential, Premium, and Diamond. The Essential package contains all the core elements of the course, everything you need. You receive live access to all 14 modules, lifetime access to the recordings of the modules. You also get the 4 workbooks that accompany the course, and you get access to our Slack community for discussion and support. It's everything you need to complete the course successfully. Full access to the Essential package costs £1,125 plus VAT. The Premium package is designed for those who want the more immersive experience, with more support, more help, and more facilities. Everything in the Essential package is included, so the 14 modules, the workbooks, and an invitation into our Slack community. But as a Premium member, you also get transcripts of all 14 modules, and you're invited into our house support system. In the house support system, you join us in a small group tutorial every Thursday. As I mentioned, our principal tutor is John Sprack, an ex-employment tribunal judge who taught at bar school for 10 years and has delivered over 200 CPD courses on employment law. Every Thursday, John will take you through case studies which you'll have been given in advance, covering the topics from that week's modules. You'll also be able to get John's help with any topics you're not sure about, or any topics where you have questions, or where you just need that extra support. You'll also be provided with model answers to the case studies after the tutorial. Each tutorial group will be small, between about 8 and 12 people. Plus, the premium package is where you'll find the 2 marked assessment exercises. The first is set after week 4, the second at the end of the course after week 7. They'll cover the topics you've studied, and each assessment will be marked and sent back to you with detailed feedback. Assuming you pass both assessments so that we know you've followed and understood the course, you'll get a framed certificate of completion which you can add to your CV. Now, if you sign up to the premium package, I'll also send you a copy of my handbook on employment law. It's one of the leading practitioners' textbooks on employment law. So you'll get this sent to you in the post if you sign up to the premium package. Plus, I'm going to invite you as my guest for lunch at the Honourable Society of Lincoln's Inn, one of the ancient Inns of Court in central London, which all barristers have to join. If you're serious about learning employment law, the premium package is the one to have. It's £2,455 plus VAT for absolutely everything. That's £175 per module, with the tutorials, the support, the assessments, and the extras thrown in. But if you want to go that little bit further, you can opt for the Diamond package. Now, I'm only offering a limited number of these because they involve more of my time. The Diamond package covers everything we've talked about so far, except lunch at Lincoln's Inn. We'll be doing something even more special instead. As well as the modules, as well as the tutorials, the assessments, the Slack community group, as well as the copy of the handbook on employment law, Diamond members receive the following extra benefits. First, a fortnightly Diamond coaching call with me. Now, there are 4 of them during the course. We'll discuss employment law, obviously, if you want, but I'm also going to give you a behind-the-scenes tour of how I run my business and practice. You might, for example, see how I prepare my cross-examination of a witness, or my method for writing books. Everyone's got a book in them, and I might take you through my step-by-step process for writing one. I've written about 20, many of them are these small books that you can see here, and you will be shown by me exactly how I do it, how I write, how I edit, how I lay out, the whole process of getting it printed, getting it onto Amazon. It's not a fine art, it's a step-by-step process that I've got written down that anyone can replicate, and I'll show you exactly how to do it. Or I might take you behind the scenes of my YouTube channel. If I do that, I'll show you how I produce all my legal explainer videos and how you can do something similar. I haven't decided yet, because I'm going to let the Diamond members choose what they want to do and see in these Diamond coaching calls. It'll be up to you. Second, you'll have access to a Diamond only channel in our Slack workroom. That's for immediate access to me with your questions and queries. I'll be there to help the Diamond members with the course and with any questions you've got. It's the elite level of access. Third, I'll send you copies of all 11 books in my employment law library. They're the small books I write that I showed you a second ago on employee investigations, GDPR for HR professionals, stress at work, time limits in tribunal litigation, deconstructing TUPE, changing terms and conditions, constructive dismissal, resolving grievances, HR hazards, employment status, and spotting malingering, the most recent one. Fourth, I'm going to give Diamond members an evening you'll never forget. I'll give you a choice of dates. There's only about 8 evenings a year when this can be done. And I'm going to invite you down to the Inns of Court in London and give you a personal tour around Temple, originally the precinct of the Knights Templar in the 13th century. You'll see the Inner Temple and Middle Temple gardens, the dining halls and the libraries. You'll also see the buildings in which barristers practice, known as chambers. And I'll show you where Rumpole, Silk, The Da Vinci Code and loads of other films and TV dramas were filmed. After that, I'm going to lay on a truly unique experience for you. An invitation as my personal guest for a formal dinner at the Honourable Society of Lincoln's Inn. It's a 4-course dinner that forms part of the compulsory training for barristers. We start the evening with a private drinks reception, and then we join students and judges for the formal part of the evening. A dinner resplendent with flowing sherry, wine and port, if you like that sort of thing. Now, you'll also get to hear a short legal lecture before dinner or see a debate after dinner. It's an evening I promise you will never forget. Fifth, you get a complimentary place as a Diamond member on any physical seminars I run during the next 2 years. It might be my masterclass seminars, my HR Secrets tour, my course on running disciplinary processes, or all of them. Whatever I run, you can attend as my guest. Sixth, next time we run the Virtual Employment Law Academy, we'll give you complimentary access so you can refresh and update your knowledge. Now, the Diamond package, so that's the 14 modules, the transcripts, the tutorials, the assessments, the Diamond coaching calls with me, the bonus Diamond Slack channel access, all my books, the tour of the temple, dinner at Lincoln's Inn, free places on my physical seminars, and a free place on next year's cohort of the Virtual Employment Law Academy is £5,495 plus VAT. So the first step for you is to make the choice: Essential, Premium or Diamond. One thing I forgot to mention, we'll be holding an in-person celebratory course completion drinks for everyone, whichever package you opted for, in London at the end of the course. Now, I'll send you details of that once you've signed up. Drinks will be on me. Finally, I want to mention scholarships. If you think you'd be a great fit for the course, but money's a bit tight right now, we're offering a scholarship program for 6 people, meaning you get free access to the Essential course. That's all 14 modules, the workbooks and the recordings. Details of how to apply are on our website, and please pay particular heed to the closing date. If you've got any questions, please have a look at our website. It's www.virtualemploymentlawacademy.com. www.virtualemploymentlawacademy.com. You can see more about the modules, you can contact us, and of course you can sign up to join us on the Virtual Employment Law Academy. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.